welcome to Aravind Reseller. My name is Chris Fernando and today we're going to talk to Kumaravel Ramakrishnan. Kumaravel is connected to us all the way from Chennai, and in this video we are going to talk about the trends for ITSM industry in 2021. So Kumaravel, thanks for speaking to us.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. Yes, I've been with ManageEngine for almost 12 years now. It's been a very exciting journey so far.
So Kumaravel, which three trends do you foresee for the world of service management in 2021?
All right, that's a very interesting question. Now, what I can think of is that first, the change that started, the rapid sequence of changes that started in IT service management in 2020 is going to continue well into 2021, right? What do I mean by that? So it's the pandemic, and just like you cannot have people inside your corporate office anymore, you cannot keep your IT infrastructure in one single place. So you'll have to think of a cloud major IT infrastructure, or even a hybrid IT infrastructure. So there's a lot of changes happening, and everything from processes to technologies are changing, and ITSM teams would have to rapidly adapt to and change, evolve, right? To keep in line with the new normal. So I think that's going to be the first trend in 2021. The second is about employee experience. So employee experience has been spoken about in the past few years, but I think now is the time to put that into action. A lot of companies are looking at removing the silos, improving collaboration, providing as seamless a service delivery as possible, even in these disruptive times. And that is something that's going to be in focus. The third trend is that the role of ITSM in the digitization of organizations would be accelerated, right? So be it, new technologies, be it new automation. So a lot of businesses are looking to technology to tide over the pandemic, to stay afloat, and that is where IT teams are going to come out swinging. And the role of ITSM would be to deploy these technologies, these automations, and I think that's a contribution that's only going to accelerate in 2021.
That's good to hear. So what sort of advice do you have for helping companies to tackle these?
In terms of advice as such, I think the first thing that needs to be done is IT teams would need to what I call recalibrate service management operations. Now, what do I mean by recalibrate? Right? So it's just revisiting, simple things like your SLAs, like your priority matrix, and all of that in the light of the new distributed work environment. So let's say take a VPN outage, for example. Pre-pandemic, this would have been a normal incident, okay? And now post-pandemic, or during the pandemic, a VPN outage is a major incident, with most folks being outside in home offices, right? So we would need to look at revisiting simple service desk parameters, processes to deliver better service, okay? The second piece of advice that I can think of is enhancing employee experience. We did discuss that before, and this would mean taking very, very simple steps like rebuilding the knowledge base, so to make it more user friendly for the remote employees, right? To enhance the use of the service catalog and the self-service portal, okay? And to invest in a robust remote access tool, and just to make IT support more reachable through better communication and collaboration channels, right? Which is again, right, my third piece of advice, right? Which is to find mechanisms to communicate and collaborate better, because this is not a time where you could just walk into someone's desk and ask for things to get information, to troubleshoot, to fulfill a service request. No, so we would in order to ensure a smooth service delivery, focus on better communication, be it triaging internally within IT or communicating with end users. We'll have to find ways, technologies to make that happen.
So Kumaravel, what changes has COVID-19 introduced into the ITSM industry?
Okay, in terms of changes, right, though the pandemic may only last for a certain duration of time, I think the effects, the changes on the way people work, on the way IT operations are run, and particularly on IT service management would be pretty long lasting, right? Now, if not everyone, a good amount of people would continue to work from home offices even after the pandemic has passed, right? And that would mean providing secure access to the corporate network, delivering the necessary tools, technologies, and services to practically all employees, irrespective of location and device. So I think there would be increased attention on areas like identity and access management, endpoint management, service monitoring, and all of that. Now, the second big change that ITSM teams would need to gear up for is the way IT asset management is carried out. Okay, now this apart from the conventional asset management which is happening in the remote way, a lot of companies are moving to the cloud. So a lot of cloud IT asset management would come along the way of ITSM teams. So IT service management professionals would have to upskill themselves in that area. The third important aspect or the change that COVID-19 has brought about is in terms of security. Now, people are outside the corporate perimeter and vulnerable to a variety of attacks, right? So there are this. I think there are changes that need to be carried out, both in terms of technologies that companies use, like endpoint management, security tools, and all of that to mitigate these threats. But also on the other side, companies would need to improve awareness and train employees on various security threats like malware, phishing attacks, and stuff like that. So it's two-pronged, but COVID-19 has certainly brought about an increased emphasis on IT security.
So in your view, will more companies depend on ITSM in 2021 for their service requirements?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, a lot of companies are dependent on IT service management than ever before. Now, Chris, if you look at it, the pandemic, has literally brought IT from the back office to the front lines, and we see that companies that invested in technology, that had a strong IT leadership, were able to tide over this crisis much better than those that did not, right? So there's a lot of transformation happening on that front, and IT service management teams will be very much required. Everything from remote asset provisioning to the increased emphasis on security of endpoints to major projects like transitioning to the cloud, pretty much everything. So I think yes, the dependence on ITSM is very, very high currently and would continue to be.
So due to the changing requirements, do you think that the levels of automation in the ITSM industry will result in further displacement of the ITSM staff?
Okay, now this is a question that keeps cropping up every time somebody talks about AI in the context of IT or ITSM. Right now, if you look at it, right, AI, there's been a lot of talk, not only talk but also action on artificial intelligence and machine learning in the past few years. Now, vendors, ITSM vendors, including ManageEngine, have built in quite a few capabilities into their products, and which come useful in performing quite a few tasks. It could be as simple as categorizing tickets or suggesting solutions to end users, but to more complex things like predicting anomalies, right? But what is the bigger question? The bigger question is, would this displace jobs? Now, for me, I do not think so. Now, remember the days of the service desk coordinators that used to assign tickets to different technicians based on the category or whatever parameter. Now, ITSM automation did replace these roles, and those roles do not exist today. Similarly, AI and ML, would replace the service desk as the conventional interface between IT and end users, but at the same time, technicians would start climbing up the value chain. Now, their roles would be modified. They would not be occupied doing the L1 tickets, keeping up with the IT chores, answering questions and all of that. So you have bots, virtual assistants to do that for you, and I think IT technicians would move a level higher from keeping the lights on mode to doing better things like focusing on critical IT projects. Something like focusing on an initiative to streamline high-risk changes, stuff like that. Okay, so no, there would not be a displacement of jobs, but there would certainly be a transformation of roles.
So 2020 has been a very difficult year for all of us. What sort of learnings have you had this year, and how are you going to use those to better your strategies for 2021?
Okay, in terms of learnings, there are two things that we can actually talk about. The first thing is we did see that companies with proactive IT leadership were able to transition to remote work better and ensure business continuity. And even in Zoho's case, earlier this year in March, we needed to move 10,000 employees to home offices in a span of a week or 10 days. And thankfully, we were able to do that because we had a pretty strong IT infrastructure supported by the ManageEngine suite of applications, and our business applications are on the Zoho.com suite of apps. So we realized that not all companies would have access to such technology, and as a result, to give them that capability, to give them that edge, we rolled out the ManageEngine remote work solution suite. Now, this is a suite of applications that help you completely manage everything from configuring and securing distributed devices to ensuring security of endpoints, to remote software deployment, to remote password resets, to remote monitoring of servers, applications, networks, right? So that is something that we went to the market with and has been very well accepted by the customers. Now, the second thing that I can think of is the fact that while there are so many applications, there are so many people sitting in remote offices doing a lot of things, managing their IT, it is not like sitting in an office, NOC or SOC, where a person would sit in front of 8 different monitors, reading information, understanding what's happening around them. right? So we realized that the same person is now at home with just the laptop, doing the responsible for the exact same IT infrastructure, but with far less information. So what we've tried to do is increase the interoperability between ManageEngine tools, so that every piece of data that flashes up on the screen has much more insights than ever before for easy decision making, right? We've been trying to do that, and we've also tried to give an omni-channel support experience to both agents and to customers, because communication, again, as I mentioned before, is a huge stumbling block when everybody is working remote. So we've integrated Service Desk Plus, our flagship IT service management product, with Microsoft Teams, and we're continuing to integrate with other collaboration applications that would ensure seamless communication and collaboration.
Thank you, Kumaravel, for the insights on the ITSM industry. It was nice having you with us, and we look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Thank you very much, Chris. It was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you.
So that was Kumaravel from ManageEngine. If you like this video, please like and share. Comment below if you have any questions for ManageEngine or for us. And please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified when new videos get posted.